Good evening. My name's Dick Sturgeon. I'm substituting this evening for Eloy Garza, who's normally the host of this program. This is called Focus on the Community. And this evening we're going to have a program about campus ministry program from Briar Cliff College. We have some visitors with us. Sister Janet May is with us, and Destiny Miller, and Laura Kane is with us to talk about a very exciting trip that you folks had. And Sister, you want to tell us where you went?
Okay, we went to Honduras over our term break, November 16th to the 24th. We went to a little area called El Guante, Honduras, and it's about an hour northeast of Tegucigalpa, which is the capital.
And how many of you went?
There were 22 of us in all. That includes our guide.
All right. Now, I understand that the program you went there with was to help establish a water system for these folks.
Correct.
And would Destiny, you want to tell us about what you did while you were there?
Well, we helped the village people dig trenches. They're about 1.5 to 2 feet deep trenches. And after we got all the trenches dug, which was about over 2 miles worth of trenches, we laid a PVC pipe in them, which ran from the wells up this hill to the holding tanks. And then with the flow of gravity, the water from the holding tanks went through the pipes.
During this program, we're going to be putting up some pictures that you folks took and brought back, I understand. Is that correct?
Yep.
Now, what were these people using for a water system before you got there? I guess I'll ask Laura that.
Before we got there, they had one well that was used for the whole community, and everybody would just go to that well and get their water for cooking and drinking and everything, and then they'd have to carry it back to their house, which could be pretty far away. And
I understand that water itself was not the most pure water. It was contaminated?
No. There was, we brought some water back and tested it, and there was E. coli in it, and while we were there we tested it too, and we found feces and pretty much all the water, and it was not very good.
And with the system that you put in, it pumps the water uphill, I understand. I think some of the pictures will show some pretty good sized hills.
Yeah.
And then where does it go?
From the hill it goes down, and there's a big main pipe, and then from that pipe it can branch off to the different houses. And
but is it stored somewhere?
Oh, yeah, there's 2 big main
holding
tanks. They can each hold 800 gallons, and it's up on top of the hill.
And disinfecting, they put disinfectant in the water there to make it safe?
Chlorine, yeah.
Yes.
Chlorine.
Now, this is part of your ministry at Briar Cliff, is that correct?
Correct. Actually, this is our 3rd trip to Honduras. Each November we've been going to Honduras, and this is our 2nd year of doing a water project because that seems to be the greatest need. And usually in the spring of the year we do a trip in the United States, and we've been going to Mississippi. This will be our 4th year for that. Actually, the whole experience in Honduras enables us to have a whole cross-cultural experience, and it helps our students get in touch with a whole nother culture. And actually Honduras is the 2nd poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, and so that's one of the reasons we go there.
And how's the cost covered for this? If you buy the pipe and the pumps and your expenses to travel, who pays for that?
Well, we actually had a fundraiser during Lent last spring, and the campus raised about $3,300 to pay for the PVC pipes and the pump. I wrote a grant from the Sisters of St. Francis to cover our living cost and travel cost while we were in Honduras. The students basically had to pay their own air flight, get their passport, and then get particular shots. And then we raised other funds for travel and other incidentals through having little projects at school, like our football team, soccer team, and volleyball team. Each signed team balls, and then we auctioned them off.
Yeah.
Right, and that was one of our fundraisers.
And where did you stay down there? Did they have facilities for you? Or?
Well, we stayed in this parish called El Guante that has a center built for training catechists. They were 2 cement block buildings kind of with bunk beds in them, and they had a kitchen, and we hired local women to cook for us, and then a meeting room. The actual village that we worked in was about 15 minutes away, Cedros Abajo, right. So that's kind of the central place. Every year we go to El Guante and stay there, and then we travel out from there to whatever village we're going to work in.
And the folks there, did they work alongside of you? Did they help with the project?
Mm-hmm. The village people there were really willing to help next to us, and they had been preparing a while so that when we came they had all this stuff ready, and every day we worked next to them and got to know them pretty well. It was fun.
And was the language a problem?
Yeah, to a degree it was, but 2 of the students that went with us could translate pretty fluently, so that helped out a lot. But lots of our communication was through nonverbal skills, so that was...
And had you been there before, Destiny?
No, I had never been there. That was my first time.
Sister, you have?
I've been there 3 years now. We had one of our students this year who was returning.
And did you meet people that you've seen before down there?
We went back and visited the 2 other work sites that we had been to the last couple of years, and that was really a thrill to go back. The particular work site we were at this year, we had never met any of these people before.
And I understand that once the water leaves these tanks and gravity takes it down to the community, and the community is not all together the way we would think about it, next door to each other, but the water is fed to the individual houses, are they not?
Mm-hmm. They each have a spigot at their house. Now, there were 24 households, 133 people in this mountain community. And we actually were off the main road a ways and had to drive in some pretty...
not so good roads.
Not so good roads, that's right. We'd hang on for dear life at times.
And you told me it was a rainy season too, so I suppose that made it even a little bit more treacherous.
Well,
yeah.
You know, the soil was easy to work with because of that. It really didn't rain while we were there. So we were fortunate, but we were just ending the raining season.
In the weather you had quite a variety of temperatures, I understand.
Right, right. Sometimes at night it would get down to the 40s. We were happy for our blanket. And then during the day, midday, it would be in the 70s, 75 or so. And it was cloudy in the morning, so that enabled us to, work without being in the heat of the day. We were up every day at 10 to 6 and had breakfast at 6:20, and we were working on the slopes by 7:15 and until noon, and then we needed a break. So now this is quite a feat for college students.
I was going to say,
right? They're not used to being up at 10 to 6 every morning.
Yes.
But many of them were in bed by 9:30 at night, which is another unusual experience for college students.
Yeah. You know, the Bible teaches us that these are things that we should do.
Right.
And it talks about the water is the life of water, and this is a good example of how you're helping the community help themselves, I would think. Is that one of the purposes?
Very much so. And actually, access to clean water is essential for good health. So many of the people suffer, especially children, from dysentery because the water is so polluted. So worldwide, one of the biggest needs people have is for clean water. Yeah. So this is a vital need of theirs.
And you told me that the one line you had to actually it was off from the community. You actually had to run it through a pasture.
Correct.
And
we work next to the cows, right?
They come over to check you out.
They came over to check us out, right? And actually, we had one of our science teachers with us, biology teachers, and he was capturing insects, and we dried these insects and brought them back. He captured butterflies. We got a cockroach really this big. Another bug called the kissing bug we brought back that causes a major disease down there, and we were catching scorpions and all of this. And
wow.
It was quite the experience.
And the students were catching these creatures too?
Yeah. I caught this cockroach that was literally like as big as my palm. It was huge.
But now, the next trip you say you're going to take us down to Mississippi.
Correct. We have another term break at the end of February, and so we're going to Macomb, Mississippi. This year we're going to work with Hurricane Katrina repair work on homes. And we'll hope to take 16 students again. We had 16 students on this trip, plus we had faculty and staff. We're looking forward to that. We already have students signing up for this.
Right. Now, when you're doing the water project, I suspect that maybe one of the problems was actually the laundry for you folks, working in the dirt and the mud and things like that. Did you have facilities for that?
Okay, Laura, tell them about it here.
For our laundry, there was this little
Pila was called.
a pila, and then there's like a thing full of water, and then there's like a little washboard beside it, and you'd have the little soap, and you'd rub it on your clothes, and then pour water on it, and just wash your clothes like that.
The old washboard.
That's right, the old washboard. Hang them on the line, so it was community laundry time.
And that had to be quite an experience.
It was kind of fun.
It was.
Yeah. You didn't have a machine to throw it in and a dryer to back it up then.
And even our toilets were not flush toilets. They looked like a flush toilet, but the flushers didn't work.
And you were telling me that that the sewer system in that area that is not up to date, and that was something else that was being worked on when you left. Is that correct?
Actually, they were digging latrines in the villages. They basically only had 3 of them for the entire village. But in the small town that we were in, they did have actual toilets in the parish house. But we had to take buckets of water and force, things down because the flushers weren't working. And part of that was a water pressure thing. We did have outdoor showers. Cold water. The water kind of trickled out. So we took our showers in the afternoon.
Very quickly.
Very quickly, yes.
Get in, you get out.
But part of the contamination of the water, I would think so anyhow, would be the latrines and the lack of sanitary sewers and things. Do they use the water? Do they have water pumped in for agricultural purposes at all in that area that you know of?
Oh, I didn't.
I think one of the pipelines that we laid went to water the cows in the pasture.
Okay.
Well, we're about out of time. I want to thank you for coming and presenting it to us. It sounds like an exciting trip, and I think it's great that you would take your breaks and work hard to cover the costs and expenses to do that. And it sounds like a wonderful project. And we'd like to have you come back and, Sister, and tell us about the trip to Mississippi that you're going to take next time. I think the people of Siouxland need to know that these things are going on. This program is being sponsored by Siouxland Community Media and Morningside College, and we thank you again for being here.
You're welcome.
Thank you.